Hey everyone, for item number 2 of Canuary, we're going to be making jam. So I'm going to show you so you can screenshot the easy steps. I'm going to be making a low sugar blueberry. So for low sugar, you just lessen the sugar. There's still quite a bit in here, but it is less than your regular amount. So I'm going to be doing blueberry today. And it's actually pretty simple. You don't need a whole lot for jam. You really just need fruit, pectin, sugar, and some bottled lemon juice. That way we can bring it up to the correct acidity levels. Now you can also, I'm going to be canning this, but you can also do this as a freezer jam or a fridge jam. So right now I have the washed blueberries in a pan with the pectin. I'm going to let this start and get nice and bubbly and then come in with my immersion blender. And while that's happening, let me show you the difference between a freezer jam and a canned jam. A freezer jam is exactly what it sounds like. It's not shelf stable, but it's one that you put in, well, the freezer. You can hear that this is, pretty solid, but you want to make sure this does not have a lip around it so the glass doesn't break. So I'm going to be able to store those. This is cranberry sauce that I canned up, just has some extras, and that's going to stay in my freezer, and I'll defrost it when I want to use it. Versus something that is canned, it is shelf stable, and it is stored without the rings, and you can have a lip on it. So for example, these pickled peppers have like this lip here, whereas the sauce does not. See the difference? This has a lip, but this does not. Okay, back to our jam. So I did add 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice because I forgot to do that earlier. So we're gonna let these get a little bit soft, and then I'm gonna use my immersion blender to really get some of the big pieces out. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can absolutely use like a potato masher or a fork, whatever works for you. So now we just need this to be to a boil that we can't stir down, or a hard boil. And the difference between a jelly and a jam has all the pieces in it like this does, where a jelly tends to use just the fruit juice. Also, side note, be careful, blueberry stains really quickly. So make sure you clean up after yourself as you go, or it makes it much harder to get stains out of things later. Now we are going to add our sugar, and yes, it seems like a lot of sugar even with the low sugar recipe, and that's because it is. Jams, jellies have a lot of sugar, but we're just going to keep stirring this until all of the sugar dissolves, and then bring it back up to a boil. Okay, this is done and now ready for canning. You're going to do at 10 minutes of water bath, and look how beautiful that color is. Now this is going to be a little bit thinner because it's low sugar, which means it's going to set up a little bit differently, and let me show you the differences. So this is my last jar, my last batch I did of the low sugar blueberry, and you can see that, well, it's kind of hard to see with my thumb in the way, but it still moves a little bit. It's totally safe, but this is a less firm setup versus something that I used full sugar on, and you can see we tilt and this isn't moving anywhere. So just know that if you're using a low sugar option, it's going to set a little bit more loose. Still totally safe to eat and be shelf stable. It's just not going to be as firm because there's less sugar. All right, that's it. I'm going to get this ready for my canner. And just again, reminder, you don't need to only do blueberry, strawberry, grape like you see in grocery stores. This is a plum jam. This carrot cake jam went over really well for the holidays. I've also done ground cherry that tastes just like Fig Newtons. The world is your oyster as long as you have your fruit, sugar, acid, and some pectin. Go for it. So thanks everyone for following along. I'll keep you updated and talk to you guys later. Bye everyone.